Hello and welcome. I am Scarberlock, and this is City of Heroes on the Rebirth server. We are with Quintessence Lass, our level 37 brute, who needs 137,000 K, 137,000 experience, or 137K to get to level 38. And our final secondary power will probably get there in this episode. I'm pretty sure we earned about 200,000 in the last episode. We'll probably earn about that much here. So in the next mission or two, we're going to be leveling up and getting our last secondary power, our last kind of dark matter, dark energy power. In the meantime, we are on a story arc, and the reason I'm already in the mission is I started to come here and realize I had not reset the mission back to +2 × 2, so we're back on +2 × 2. And now we have to find Bentley Berkeley, who is going to tell us something about the path of the dark, but he's apparently being overcome by these evil council guys, and so we need to kick their butts and take some names and rescue Bentley. And you can see that with all these guys surrounding me, no problem. We're still kicking their butt because Brute's very much like a tank. Basically a tank that can do really good damage and isn't quite as defensive as a tank. And you can see how the Fury is just rocketed up. We're doing 160% damage, which is really good. Alright, so there's an elevator here. Bentley's probably going to be down the elevator, but let's see what's in the other spot. I doubt they're going to put him here if there's an elevator, but it might be that we potentially need to get him and then move him somewhere else in the map, but I don't think so. Again, I do these so far apart from each other. I mean, the last time I did this mission was probably 9 months ago, and before that was a year before that or something, that I don't really remember them. I don't do them enough that I can tell you exactly what's going to happen in every mission, although certain ones, like the Wheel of Destruction, I do remember specific missions, like the final mission there and how to complete it and stuff like that. And there's a boss. Excellent. He is only +2, so he should be no problem. Let's go ahead and buff up. I love having that heal. It's on a 49, 50-second recharge, which is pretty good. And now this boss is basically floored against us. And look at that. This far into the battle, and I just have maxed out both the health and the endurance. I almost call it stun and endurance. I'm so used to saying it that way in Champions. Alright, so we're looking for Bentley. And I'm not sure exactly where we're going to find him, but we've got lots. Ooh, another boss. Excellent! Let's go ahead and buff up our 2-hit to make sure we hit this guy, because he's going to be debuffing us, and so is this little minion. Now this guy, I think, is going to turn into a wolf after we kick his butt. So we definitely want to buff up here to make sure that I didn't quite hit that inspiration correctly, but we want to buff up here to make sure we're ready for the wolf. Oh no, he didn't do it. Maybe it's the lieutenants that do it. I hear a glowy. That's not good. That might be a body. I'm pretty sure Bentley Berkeley survives, though. I feel like we meet him in this and other missions. But I thought I heard a glowy. Oh wow, look at that. What a great group. This is what you want as a brute. Is to have this many different guys to fight, because you're sort of like a tank. And it's absolutely going to build our Fury faster. than when we had the smaller group. And then we can get in the middle of it and do this. Soul Drain 3 or 4 guys and just crank the damage to 190%. Look at that. They're just going to get completely hammered by our abilities now. And this guy took him out without even touching him directly, just by AoEing him. And that is awesome. Look at that. We just into a swarm of oranges and we just crushed them. Brutes are awesome. Oh, look at that. Another boss. One, two. We need to get 5 of these in. 3, 4, 5, and now he's as debuffed as he's going to be. So that's pretty good. He's not going to be hitting us much. His little minion will, but the minion can't do anything to me, really. Let's go ahead and pull some endurance off of these guys. Perfect. Kill him with the endurance drain, and then beat this guy up, and our endurance is back to full. I definitely like this build, and how it can both heal itself and regain endurance, so that if you manage it right, by the end of a battle, you're sitting there looking at being back to full, which is awesome. And again, if it weren't for the accuracy penalties, we'd be already ready to move to +3s, I think. But +2 × 2 will definitely be more challenging because we'll get some bosses. We might even... I was going to say, we might even want to go to +3 for the challenge. The only negative is it's going to make missions take forever. It's not so bad with this character. I really didn't want that with Silver Phoenix because I was trying to do every story arc in the game, and so I didn't want to gain too much XP per mission, but with this character it doesn't matter that much because we've already done all these story arcs. So, I don't know, I'll have to think about it, whether we should go to ×3. Let's do ×2 for this arc and see how it goes, and if we still need a challenge, we'll see if we can move it up to ×3. There's the glowy. Oh, no wonder I heard it from over here, because it's just across the wall. Notes. So, this tells us, grabbed by jackbooted thugs, luckily ready for that, Paragon City and all, check with your friend, sent message regarding where to find me. So, I wonder how he left the message that in the past tense says I was grabbed by jackbooted thugs. Right? I mean, you would think the thugs would have been on top of him at that point. Well, Colleen says the council must have grabbed Berkeley to keep him from telling you what he knows about the Path of the Dark. It looks like he was anticipating that. I got this message while you're out. He sent us a set of coordinates. Well, we better go find him then. Check those coordinates. There may be a location of a council base. Are you ready to go? This will probably be tough. They may not be expecting you, but they'll likely have a heavy guard on him. I'd recommend you prepare yourself and take some friends. So we're going to try it on +2 × 2, guys, because we're just crushing these guys. Let's just go ahead and try it and see. I mean, usually when they warn you like that, you need to watch out. But this character has so many ways of healing herself, damaging the enemies, debuffing the enemies. When I lay 5 hits on even an elite boss, it's gonna. I mean, it's not gonna be floored, but it's gonna have -25 to hit, and I have a 32 defense. It's basically -55 to hit essentially. So even if they have like a 70 base, he's only gonna have a 15 or 20% chance to hit me. So I think that, and then we have resistance on top of it, 20-30% resistance depending on what special effect he uses. So I think we'll be fine. And I think maybe they're warning us because of all these bosses. I don't know if the bosses were supposed to be here, or if they're here because we're on ×2. But I think because of the accuracy penalties, I think we're going to want to up the number rather than the level. at least to times 3 before we go up to plus 3, just because of how much of a penalty we're going to take against plus 4s. And there are some cases with plus 2 missions where we're already seeing plus 4s once in a while. That would mean we'd be looking at plus 5s, which we know we won't be able to hit. I mean, we're just going to be constantly whiffing because we're like minus 25 to hit or something. This character definitely feels incredibly powerful. I don't think I've felt, even with Tiger Strike, who was the Claws Stalker, I don't think I've felt this just straight on powerful. Like my character can just take on anything since I played Silver Phoenix. I always felt like she could take on just about anything. And she mostly could. Some of that had just to do with my comfort level with martial arts, that I have more so than with anything else. But I am really enjoying the Dark Melee. Definitely feels awesome. So we're looking for Bentley. I don't know if we're going to be escorting him out or just finding him. This is a pretty cool story arc. I like it. I think I would probably like it better if the bad guys were the fifth column, just because I prefer evil Nazis to be my villains rather than evil fascists. I mean, fascists are bad, and, you know, it's fine fighting them, but I love fighting Nazis. In fact, I'm showing my age. When I was a kid, my sister and I were big fans of the Linda Carter Wonder Woman TV show. And I've been toying with the idea of maybe getting it on Vudu or something and watching them. And I was like, you know, I don't really remember them or what they're about. I haven't seen them since 1970, whatever, 8, 9, whenever the last episodes came out. Started in 1977, I believe. And so I was just looking on Vudu for, like, what the episodes are about, and a lot of them have her fighting Nazis. And I don't know if she was fighting them in World War II, or if she was fighting modern Nazis, but either way is cool with me. And so I'm like, okay, seeing that, I already was inclined to purchase it, but seeing that she's fighting actual Nazis in the show over and over again makes me want to watch it. Because that's just cool. And that's one of my favorite things in the superhero motif is them fighting Nazis. In fact, one of the things I was a little disappointed with in the Captain America movie was that he was fighting Hydra, but they depicted as Hydra as being sort of separate, distinct, and kind of a rogue element of the Germans rather than being Nazis. And so Captain America didn't really fight actual Nazis in the movie. He fought Hydra, which is, you know, in some ways worse than Nazis, but not quite the same. And I really wanted to see him fight Nazis, you know, like actual Nazis. And they really didn't do that very much in that movie. I mean, it was a good movie. I enjoyed it. But I always love it when superheroes fight Nazis. So I think I'm definitely going to purchase. I'm in the middle of rewatching the 5 seasons I own of The Big Bang Theory. I just finished season 3. When I'm done with that, I think I'm going to buy a season of Wonder Woman and try it out. There have been a lot of superhero TV shows over the years. I remember Wonder Woman, of course. The Incredible Hulk ran for a long time. There was a Flash TV show a long time ago with, gosh, I can't remember the name of the actor. Before this was on like CBS. It wasn't on the CW. Didn't exist. Since then, of course, there have been a bunch of them: Arrow, Supergirl, Flash, and this is a lieutenant. Okay, just making sure it's not a boss. Just keeping an eye. +3. Obviously, the Wonder Woman TV show. There was an old Captain America TV show that was on for about a year. If you've ever seen it, you'll know because his shield was wrong. It was like red, white. It was red, blue, and clear. That is the parts of the circular parts of his shield that are supposed to be white were clear. It looked like the shield was made of glass, and we have leveled up. Um, and there are lots of other TV shows, some of which I'm not remembering. Let me know in the comments. Do you like to watch? Did you used to like to watch? Do you like to watch now? Superhero TV shows. If so, what's your favorite? Which ones did you like? Um, I loved the Incredible Hulk TV show when I was a kid with Bill Bixby in it. It ended every single episode with him, like hitchhiking along the side of the highway with the sort of piano music, and you sort of felt sorry for him because he was always alone. And every single episode, somebody did something to make him mad, and the Hulk showed up and fixed whatever the problem was by beating the crap out of the bad guys. The Hulk played by Lou Ferrigno, who was a bodybuilder. Very different sort of Hulk from the one you see in the movies today. He just roared. He didn't talk. He was just a big human-sized guy. He wasn't like 8, 10 feet high. I feel like the first season or two of that show was really good, and then it kind of got really repetitive. And it was always super predictable. And I remember I had a 6th grade teacher who was a bit of a snob. There was a TV show called The Misadventures of Sheriff Lobo, which she absolutely despised. And she used to talk about things having a Lobo mentality. And I don't think she ever wanted to watch The Incredible Hulk, but what is this guy? Oh, I leveled up. I was like, why is he only yellow? But we leveled up. But apparently this is after had been on for several seasons. This would have been 1981 probably, and I think the Hulk started in 78, something like that. So it had been on for several seasons. And I'm going to just taunt these guys over. In one of the episodes, apparently some friend of hers, her daughter was an actress and was actually a guest star on The Incredible Hulk. So my 6th grade teacher kind of had to watch it because she knew the girl, right? Like they were friends she was friends with the family. And so she told us she was going to watch the show because of this girl. And so that it was on Friday night. So that Monday when we came back in, I asked her, how'd you like the show? And she was like, it's Lobo mentality. She didn't like it at all. She thought it was dumb. And I was kind of insulted because, I liked it as a kid. I don't know how much I would like it now. I think I probably would. One of the things I found is I really like the old TV shows a lot better than many of the modern ones. I found that I feel like they did a really good job on television shows back in like the 60s and 70s, and some of my favorite shows are things like the Mary Tyler Moore Show, which was on in the 1970s, the Dick Van Dyke Show, which was on in the 60s, also had Mary Tyler Moore on it. And part of it's just I like Mary Tyler Moore. She was an amazing comedian. She's a fantastic actress. She was super funny, and I pretty much like almost anything with her in it. And I love those two shows. But Dick Van Dyke himself was also very good in the Dick Van Dyke Show. He was really funny. The Bob Newhart Show, the original one, not Newhart. Newhart was okay. That was 80s. But in the 70s, the Bob Newhart Show, where he was like a psychiatrist or a psychologist. And I guess you probably couldn't do that show today because you tuned in to laugh at all the crazy people that he treated, and now it would be considered making fun of a mental disorder or something. But at the time, it was really funny, and there were amazing actors on the show, including Marsha Wallace, who then ended up playing the teacher, Mrs. Krabappel, on The Simpsons for many years. She was the secretary. That was a great show, and I really enjoyed it. And you had shows like Wonder Woman and The $6 Million Man and The Bionic Woman, and these were all 70s shows that I enjoyed very much, at least back then. Now, I was a kid, and it may be when I watch these as an adult, I won't like some of them as much. But many of them had very high ratings. They were on for multiple years because they got the ratings to stay on the air. So it wasn't just me as a kid liking them. And Mary Tyler Moore went on for 7 years. and was, I still maintain, one of the funniest sitcoms I've ever seen, and one of the most enjoyable TV shows I've ever watched. And I just recently, in fact, rewatched the entire series on Vudu. Um, over the last several months, kind of last fall. And there's simply no question that it was more intelligently written than almost any other TV show I've ever seen. It was very well done. Um, and I don't know, there weren't, even a show like the Dick Van Dyke Show, there are episodes I don't like, and when I rewatch the series, which I have on DVD, I'll skip those. So I maybe watch 2/3 of them and I skip the rest because they're just not as funny. But the Mary Tyler Moore Show, I pretty much like them all. See, it was just a really good show. So I don't know what I'm going to think of Wonder Woman, but we'll see. Hopefully I'll like it. I'm definitely going to try at least one episode, one season, and see how it goes. And if I like it, I'll keep watching the rest. So anyway, what other TV shows that star superheroes, since this is City of Heroes, have you guys watched? Which ones did you like? Which ones didn't you like? What are your favorites? We can't forget, of course, Adventures of Superman, which is sort of the prototype. Black and white. It was done with, was it George Reeves or whatever his name is, who was the original Superman, and then, later on, Christopher Reeve, without the S on his name, played Superman again in the original Superman, the movie. But a lot of the motifs of superhero shows were kind of pioneered by that one. It was a pretty interesting show. There was speaking of Superman, there was Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman, which is a show I very much liked the first season of, and then didn't really like the rest of it. One of the things that I find happens a lot in superhero shows is they're really, really good for a very short period of time, and then they fall apart. So I feel like Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman was good for one season. Then by the second season, it wasn't so great anymore, partly because John Shea, who had played Lex Luthor, wasn't able to do it anymore. So the story on that was that he was an excellent Lex Luthor, probably the best one I've ever seen. And I loved him on the show, and he did a great job. And I can't remember whether the show was being shot in L.A. and he lived in New York, or the show was being shot in New York and he lived in L.A. And he was basically like airline commuting every week to work. And I think he had a young family, and he finally said after a season, I can't do this anymore. And they had to write him out of the show. And they just never came up with a good replacement villain for Lex Luthor. And he was in it a couple of times, and then he was completely out, and it just never was as good. So like, I have the first season of that show on DVD, but I'm never going to buy the other ones because I didn't really like the rest of it. Supergirl, the TV show, I think was amazing the first season. I actually like it better than Lois and Clark season 1. But I feel like the subsequent seasons 2 and 3 were awful. They were so bad that even though I own 4 and 5 on DVD, because I'm a collector of all things Supergirl, she's my favorite superhero in the comics, I've never even watched them. I just can't stomach it. I've watched the first couple episodes of season 4, and I've just got it sitting on my my dining room table ready to be watched, and I just haven't watched it. What am I missing here? I don't know where he is. I feel like several other superhero TV shows were very, very good at the beginning and kind of fell apart afterwards. The Flash from the CBS show was really good, I think, for like the first half season, and then they changed cast or something. I know it was good at the beginning, and I really liked it. John Wesley Shipp, I believe, was the Flash. And so I really liked the first part of it, and then it fell apart, but I don't remember, because it's been so long, whether I liked part of the first season or the whole first season. But I feel like it was really good. I watched it for a little while, and then it got not so good, and kind of fell apart. So where is this guy? really wish the hostages made a sound like the glowies so we could find them. I mean, I've been tabbing around. I haven't seen anybody. Yeah, so leave comments. What superhero shows did you like? Which ones didn't you like? What's your favorite? He's got to be in this big annoying room somewhere in one of the nooks and crannies. He's got to be. There are all these little hidey holes. He's got to be in one of them. Because where else would he be? Well, guys, we may be on another autocomplete here. I don't really like doing that, but I mean, I feel like I've been everywhere. I'm sure there's somewhere I haven't been where he might be hiding. Ah, and here it is. Alright, we've got him. I noticed that little patch on the map. And there you go, Bentley, you're saved. And he says, hi there, Bentley Berkeley here. Pleased to meet you. You did a big thing stopping those council fellas from leaving. They were going to join something called the Path of the Dark, a nasty secret society I first encountered back in the 1920s. I got hooked up with a bunch of guys and dolls who were fighting the worst supernatural could offer, and the Path of the Dark was on that list. I only tangled with the Path a few times, but others in the group fought them extensively. There was this functionary in the Italian government named Rudolfo Uzzano who was determined to contact them. Jenny Bassi and her team often clashed with his boys. I may not have known a lot about the Path, but Jenny's grandson Sam lives in the city. I know that Jenny kept a journal, and that might have some insight. I don't know where the kid is these days. I got a bad habit of losing track of people. You'd think I'd learn, wouldn't you? Talk to Peter Stemets, and he tends to keep an eye on things. And tell Pete I said hello. Alright, so we're going to head out. We're going to level up. Because we're level 38 now, guys. We're going to get our last superpower. So let's head to Steel Canyon, which is close. And we'll go get our superpower. And level 38 will be Overload. We get to see what that looks like. And then let's see, what are we doing on time? We're 28, so I think we'll get our power and then we'll stop there. Maybe we'll talk to Peter Stemets and then we'll stop. It's really interesting. I don't think my nephews have probably, maybe ever, watched a superhero TV show. And we used to watch superhero cartoons. I mean, if you add cartoons, there are a lot of them. Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends was one my sister and I used to watch almost religiously every Saturday, I think. I think it was on Saturday mornings. There were lots of other like cartoons, and there have been other cartoons since too, like Justice League and stuff like that. I don't know how much my nephews watch of those. It's kind of a shame. Superheroes are cool. Alright, so Overload is going to give us smashing, lethal, fire, cold, energy, negative energy, plus recovery, plus max hit points, resistance to defense debuffs, plus recovery rate, plus endurance. Wow, we get 3 minutes of this? Holy goodness. That is amazing. And it recharges every 16 minutes. Okay, so that's why it lasts so long. So this is basically like Elude. So obviously we're going to want to triple recharge that. Um, it also takes defense. I don't know if it's worth it. I mean, it would be great to buff it up to like plus whatever to be 70%. That'd be pretty amazing. But plus 45 is already going to put us so high that we're going to floor almost everybody, so I don't know if it's necessary. All right, folks. I think we'll go talk to Stemets and then we'll stop. So we've got overload. We're going to need to put recharge enhancers on it right away. 16 minutes will drop to 8. I think it's nice that it lasts 3 minutes. You probably don't need it more than every 8 minutes because you probably only need it like once a mission to fight an elite boss. And since elite bosses can take a while to grind down, having it be a 3-minute duration is pretty awesome. So elude lasts, I think, what is it? Does it last 2 minutes? And it's on a 10-minute recharge, something like that, and you can get it down to 5. It's somewhere around that. It's been so long I can't remember now exactly. Alright, so let's talk to Stemets, and then we will stop for today. So yeah, leave in the comments, tell me what your favorite superhero TV shows are. You can do cartoons too, but I was mostly talking live action. Which one's your favorite? Which ones didn't you like? Are there some that, like me, you enjoyed for a season or two and then you feel like they kind of went off the rails? Or is your favorite one your favorite because it was just good the whole entire time? Let me know. He says, Quintessence last, good to see you. Yeah, I got word to expect you from good old Bentley. Man, Bentley and I used to hang out way back. We took on the Path, Baron Zoria and his Circle of Thorns, all kinds of weird stuff. Yeah, I was a different person then, literally. I remember more past lives than I can shake a stick at. Yeah, it's weird. I just deal with it. Anyway, I know where Basie's grandson is. I already told him to expect you, so he should have his grandmother's journal ready for you. What are the odds that this guy is going to be trapped by council people and we have to go get him back? Yep, the messes are already aware and they're plotting against me, which means that they are probably going to be with Basie and the journal. But we will check that out next time, guys. We're level 38. We are done. If we look at this, man, we've got every one of our powers, primary and secondary. We are finished. Until next time, folks, I am Scrapperlock, and this has been the City of Heroes on the Rebirth server.